WVON.
Now you official now, but you got a soul to say. I just been cooking that note. I'm about to drop in a few. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth.
Bismillah Rahman Rahim. All right, brothers and sisters, we are back. Straight word on WVON 1690. This is the Talk of Chicago. All right, this is your brother BJ Murphy, and of course, our big brothers are on today. We got a special show for everybody. Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad. He is the editor-in-chief of the Final Call newspaper. Our big brother, contributing editor of the Final Call newspaper, Brother James G. Muhammad, is in the place to be on this Tuesday night. Assalamu alaikum, big brothers. How y'all doing?
Walaikum salam, sir. Doing wonderful.
Man, y'all sound good. Sound alive.
Yeah, Brother Naba'a, you looking good up in there, man.
Man, I'm trying, brother. You know, I was going to get dressed up today, you know.
Hey, man, you dressed up enough.
But then the weather hit, so,
yes, sir.
you know, I had to wrap it up, as they say in Chicago.
Yeah, please do. Please do, man.
Yeah.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, man, trying to do that. You know, we really got, and brothers and sisters, we hope for this to be really a really great and interactive and informative discussion. Politics, and agendas. That's going to be our main topic.
Yes, sir.
We really want to go for about 90 minutes because we're hoping to really, you know, get your thoughts and opinions. Brother James G. is going to lead the conversation. But we're expecting Siddiqui Kamboon of the Nubian Leadership Council out of Boston, which is a group that you need to hear about. You need to hear about the work that they're doing. And we're hoping to hear from you. You know, we have had, talk about agendas come up. We know that 2024 is a big election year. And we were hoping that the discussion is not just about the election, but what should we be doing, if that makes sense. So you can kind of take it from whatever point of view that you want. But I know a lot of people are asking what's happening with the election. So, Brother James, I don't know. You want to start?
I was going to say it's going to be about what do we do to make the election meaningful.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, when we have that conversation, but first we're going to look at the final call for a minute.
Oh, well, go ahead. Let's do that.
When we have that conversation, we want our brothers and sisters out there, as you say, as you listen to talk radio, a lot of what you hear is they ain't doing this and they ain't doing that, and we should be doing this and we should be doing that. Well, we want to know, you know, if you was in the seat, what would you be doing? What's one specific item you would put on an agenda item that you would call your contribution to the black agenda? And does that mean that this is something that only impacts black people? Or is it something, when you say black agenda, is that, as Reverend Jackson has said, you know, a rising tide lifts all boats? So if we're on the bottom and the tide lifts all boats, then that means, you know, this agenda item is going to impact everybody. So how do you feel about it? We're going to get into that. We want to have that conversation, brother.
What if you ain't got no boat? Then what? You just drown?
Yeah. Well, you take out your... maybe you have sandals on.
Oh.
Evidently, you don't have boots on because you ain't got no straps.
Right. We ain't got no straps.
We tried to do stuff with the bootstraps.
Right. We tried to pull ourselves up with no boots, right?
If we got sandals, maybe we can do something with them.
We can dog paddle something through the flood.
Yeah, brother, but we've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
So hopefully a conversation will at least, you know, get us to thinking about something, how we can really move forward. But I know we want to get to that, but I just want to, because our brothers, even though it's cold outside, our brothers get out there with this Final Call newspaper, because it's not a paper, it's a message. Yeah. And this week we have on the cover Dr. King in Context. And, you know, pick up the paper. We ain't going to spend a lot of time, and brothers, y'all jump in right away as you feel. But are we getting a real picture of Dr. King? Is he the milquetoast, watered down version that we get, who had a dream but was shot just because he had a dream, or was the dream more than a dream? Did he have a peek into reality and was getting ready to bust it out? Was speaking truth to power that wasn't a dream, but so they killed him for that. And then we also have an article. I don't know if you brothers had a chance to look at it yet. I've just been perusing it a little bit. One of our sisters and brother Naba'a, I know this would be dear to your heart because you're very passionate about, as we all are, but about the injustices that hit our people. This young lady was neglected medically and ended up dying, and now they're trying to get some justice for her. A beautiful young sister who was in the hospital for various illnesses and was just disrespected, overlooked, wasn't given the care, and ended up dying. Yeah, that's also there.
Brother James. See, this is why I say it again, and I probably say it almost every week. This is why, brothers and sisters, you need to read the final call.
Right.
Because we just had, didn't we just have the sister, we had a sister on that last week. But look, real quick, we're on Spotify, so go to Spotify, and you can get the archives, audio archives, and a little video. But we're also on YouTube at Straight Words Media. What I was saying is, Brother BJ did a feature with a sister that we ran, and you can get it up there on YouTube, and you can get it on Spotify. But the sister went through a horrible delivery. And Serena Williams has gone through it. Yeah. And so this is like, and it's men, man. How long are we going to let our women suffer like this?
Yeah.
So when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we needed our own hospitals, he knew what he was talking about. And you have unnecessary deaths in hospitals. I tell you what, Google it and see if we're disproportionately impacted by that. Go ahead, Mr. James. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. And we want to also raise up that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan will be speaking at Savior's Day,
whoa, now.
February 25th. And, one of those papers asked about why is Farrakhan, quote unquote, being silent. And the Honorable Minister Farrakhan answered very correctly. He's going to speak when Allah and his leader, his Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, gives him what he wants him to say.
Right.
And so on the 25th, his topic is going to be, what does Allah, the great Mahdi, and the great Messiah have to say about the war in the Middle East? And I can guarantee you that those folks who want to hear from him ain't going to be happy.
Once they hear
what he has to say, they're going to say, man, why? Oh, shut up. Why don't you? That's enough. I hear you. Because it's going to be some hard truth, brothers.
Hey, Brother James,
yes, sir.
Where, you said when. Now, where is this magnificent address going to take place? And
it's going to take.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother.
No, it's you, man. I'm asking you the question.
It's in Mecca.
Mecca.
Also known as Detroit.
All right.
Michigan,
right.
where the nation was founded.
Go ahead, man.
On February 25th at the auditorium. It escapes the name of the auditorium.
Detroit at Huntington Place is the place now.
Yeah, it's the old,
I think it used to be the Cobo Arena or something. Or it's one of them, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll be, brothers and sisters, our Savior's Day convention weekend. And I say this, and I mean it. Go, brothers and sisters. You don't have to be a Muslim. Register though and go.
Right.
Hell, don't register and go. Just go and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you don't have to bring no gun.
Right.
You ain't got to bring no ganja. You ain't got to bring your shank. You can bring your beautiful wife. You can bring your beautiful daughter. You can bring your handsome husband, and you gonna be at peace. Ain't nobody gonna be winking. Ain't nobody gonna be trying to get at them. But you gonna hear the greetings. Peace, peace, peace.
Exactly. And I was going to get out. Go ahead, BJ.
I was saying you gonna have every black person that you see gonna be like, yes sir, no ma'am,
Yes.
can I help you sir, can I help you brother? You be like, who? Don't call. We not used to people showing us the kind of respect that we deserve. It'll be a beautiful experience, and for your in-laws and cousins and everybody that's never been, bring them, and I promise you they'll change their whole perspective about what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, what the Nation of Islam is all about. It's beautiful, man.
Look, go ahead, brother.
I want to bring my mother. I want to bring my mother-in-law.
Yes, sir. It's going to be, everybody's going to be clean. And I was going to say, it's going to be the safest place. I would venture to say the safest place on the planet for that weekend.
I agree.
Right there in that area, in that Savior's Day area. Okay, so we're gonna move on, Brother Naba'a, if you don't mind. But I did want to point out this last article. It's called "Harvard's Inescapable History of Race Hate," and we know the sister that was just forced to step down, president of Harvard, and our brothers in the research department has done an excellent examination of the historical racism that has come through the prestigious university called Harvard. So I encourage everybody to pick up a copy of the paper, give the brothers some love, give them a few dollars, and go home and sit down, have a hot cup of coffee or tea, whatever you want, and read through the paper, and your eyes will come open. I guarantee you that. Or will become wider open after you finish.
Absolutely.
So brothers, Brother Naba'a, we've been talking about black agendas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and Brother BJ, and then for callers is 773-591-1690. We want you all. This is your platform to speak to your leadership, for you to put on, to become the congressman of your district. Tell your constituents what you want to put on the agenda that will benefit them as black people. So, what is a black agenda?
Yeah.
Is that something that only impacts black people? As I mentioned, is it something that lifts everybody? Are we afraid to issue a proclamation that says these are the things that black people want, and only these are things that only black people should receive? We have once had this thing called affirmative action that was meant for black people specifically, but it was hijacked. It was hijacked by white women. It was hijacked by others who came into the door that was opened by black Americans. Yeah. But we ended up on the short end of the stick. Yeah. So what is the black agenda? What would you put on it, and why? What impact will it have? Yeah. Brother Naba'a, Brother BJ, what would any of you all, as you think through that, is there things that come up in your mind? Is reparations a big part of that agenda?
You know, Brother James, one of the things that I think about when we talk about agendas, because we know a president has at most, 8 years?
Yes, at most.
At most 8 years. So when you have an agenda, you're able to chart your course over different presidential administrations, right? So it's not just tied to the politics of the moment, and it's not tied to a white man coming to save you.
That's right.
Because, and I think we got a clip from the minister we're going to play later on about whether you should be ignorant or not in voting.
Right.
And that's a powerful clip.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there's a lot of, that we have to, I would say in a sense, put forward our agenda and represent our interests first. That doesn't mean that we can't find commonality with others who enjoy some of the same problems, like the Native American brothers and sisters. They suffer from tremendous poverty generally.
Mm-hmm.
They have suffered from violence at the hands of police. They have had women disappear from reservations. And so I think that our agenda begins with us. But I'll just say this. Whatever's good for black America is good for America, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
No matter how you look at it. And you can look at it as you've now got millions of more people who are being able to exude their full potential. And that's good. Or you could hear the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and what he said. And what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said. Which is that the problem, the mistreatment, the abuse of the black man and woman in America.
That's right.
The world will have no peace. And America certainly will have no peace until this question is resolved. But I was looking for something because I had something from Dr. Maulana Karanga that he wrote in like 2019. Now, my computer picked today to just start acting like a Negro, so I might have to beat it to get it to act right.
What was it around?
It was from 2019, but he talked about items, public policy, and like really agenda items for us. And he talked about how those items could kind of dovetail with what other people's need, because it was more like embracing the humanity of people, and kind of putting people first, us putting forward. The other reason why we have to put forward our own agenda is because nobody else is going to do it, and we are collectively looked at as a constituency. That's why Uncle Joe, when he won, what did he say? Black people saved me. What did they say? I mean, I want you to hear this, brothers and sisters, and think about this. They said black people saved democracy, right? That's what they said.
We did, yeah.
But then they turned around at the state level and started depriving us of voting rights in states all across the country. But guess what?
And still doing it.
And still doing it. But guess what? Check this out now. Uncle Joe had the White House, the House, and the Senate. And he had the John Lewis Voting Rights Act or bill to give us federal protections about voting. Guess what? It didn't pass, brothers and sisters. It did not pass.
But I thought Joe said he got our back.
You mean a knife in our back? I mean,
oh, okay. That's what he said.
Maybe we misunderstood.
Okay.
Maybe we misunderstood.
Yeah, he had a knife in our back.
Well, my brother, you mentioned Karinga, and I happen to have some of that. I'm going to just read a little bit that I saw.
Cool, okay.
He said, we have been told that a black agenda is a narrow...
Yeah,
agenda,
go ahead, brother editor. That's the one. That's the one.
And cannot be embraced at the national level and cannot be advocated by the major black groups or put forth as a good case for funding, although other groups advocate their own particular agenda. But the black agenda for America is not narrow and has always been inclusive and about freedom, justice, equality, and shared power. It is the white agenda that has been restrictive, racist, nativist, segregationist, and enslaving. It is our struggle that not only expanded the realm of freedom and justice in this country, but transformed it in the ways that its white founding fathers could not imagine or accept. So it goes back to what Brother Naba'a was saying. You know, we as black people have been the saving grace of this country. And our agendas, though I want to pose the question, when have we presented a united agenda to the powers that be? There have been some instances where the Big Six presented, and they got the movement that ultimately, I guess, passed some civil rights agendas.
Right.
We've had others, but as a united group with a document that tells the so-called powers that be what we want, and we're united behind it, have we ever done it? What was the result of it? And if so, if the result was good, why are we in the condition that we are in now?
Yeah.
773-591-6090. Brothers and sisters, give us a call. Let us know what you're thinking.
Let me, Brother James, I want you to come back because I think that Dr. Karanga also gives some specifics. If you could at some point come back and share some of those items, Sister
Okay.
Naima Latif, who's often joins us, she's participating on the Facebook page, WVON AM 1690. She wrote, Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We need to create hospitals that practice holistic healing. Let's start preparing for this now by having our youth study holistic healing modalities and mastering the knowledge of healthy eating and proper nutrition, and let our sisters become expert midwives. That's great. Look like we got Barney Muhammad. Should we take him now?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Oh, man, y'all make me feeling good like a buttered biscuit, brother, taking me right away. I'm almost like I'm on the panel there. May Allah bless each and every one of you coming out in that cold for this, brother. But I wanted to just say that I'm hearing over and over again the cry for the program of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Exactly.
I mean, on everything we're touching, we're talking about the program of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Over 90 years, we have a program. What we want, what we believe. It's on the Muhammad speaking now on the final callback page.
Yeah.
And we say what we want. Somebody say, well, you mean what the Muslims want? The Muslim is one who submit their will to do the will of God, of Allah.
That's right.
God. So that means if you are one who submits, then this is what you want. And this should be what you believe. And the messenger said he wouldn't give 2 cents for the scholarship in this world. So we're looking at, at this point, we're either going to submit or we're going to be forced into submission by Almighty God. As I see Donald Trump win, not only did he win, he almost got all the votes in an hour.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I heard the minister say that would probably be our last president. And so I'm putting these pieces together, and I'm saying we better come and fly to Allah. We had somebody got a Muhammad speak on their table. Pick it up.
Yeah.
Read what we want. We want freedom. We want justice. We want equality. We've been talking reparations from day one.
That's right.
But this is the divine reparation. So, yes, I really think that this is the discussion. Anytime we talk about agendas, we should deal with that agenda of the program of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We should vet it. We should parse it. And then if someone in the coming down to the modern time can say, that's good with the message, say, now, this is what we can do on that point. Then we can talk.
Yeah.
So that's the little piece I want to put in.
Well, thank you, Brother Barney. I'm just going to read, Brother James. Give me 1 minute. I'm just going to read.
Yeah.
This is from What the Muslims Want
Mm-hmm.
on the inside back page of the final call. Number 1, we want freedom. We want a full and complete freedom. Number 2, we want justice. Equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of race or creed or class or color. So that eliminates this thing of these demons calling us black supremacists.
Right.
And by the way, brothers, y'all need to congratulate me, man.
You're congratulated.
Thank you. Because you know why? The Southern Poverty Law Center
Yeah.
attacked my leader and named me in the piece, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Party for that, brother.
Congratulations.
Yeah, they named me like I'm an enemy of theirs. You know what I mean? I might get that thing printed and framed, brother.
Yeah, you got to frame that, brother.
Man, thank you, Southern Poverty Liars. Law Liars Center. Thank you for recognizing my hard work trying to defend my minister. Liars, man. Thank you. I tried. I want to thank all the people that made this possible.
Give your nomination speech, brother.
But let me go to number 3, man. Let me go to number 3. Listen, brothers and sisters, we're having fun, but I want you to really listen to these words, right?
Exactly.
Number 3, we want equality of opportunity. We want equal membership in society with the best in civilized society. That's what we want. Number four, and I'm just going to read the abbreviated part of this. We want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to provide such land, and that the area must be fertile and minerally rich. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate state of territory for the next 20 to 25 years until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. I got to read this last paragraph. Check this out, brothers.
Yeah.
Since we cannot get along with them in peace and equality, after giving them 400 years of our sweat, after giving them 400 years of our sweat and blood, and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced, we believe our contributions to this land and the suffering forced upon us by white America justifies our demand for complete separation in a state of territory of our own.
Yes, sir.
And it goes on.
I got a question. We can bring some more of them in, but I got a question, Brother Naba'a. So does this, just the first four items that you mentioned, that you read, does that preclude or exclude any of our people? So when you say we want freedom, we want a full and complete freedom, do some of the agenda items that they may bring up come under that? Because that's very broad, so they can, if they have ideas under that freedom, what is the proposal on a black agenda that would get us to freedom?
And I think, I heard the minister say once that if you get number one, if you get full freedom, full and complete freedom, you don't need to go to the others because you will have everything contained.
Exactly.
Right? In that first one.
My other question is, can we as a people, we're going to get free, but is it possible for us to continue down the road that we're going by putting up legislation or proposals that aren't as specific as a proposal for if we can't get justice, we want to separate?
Right.
Can we get there? Can we get it without getting rid of the racism that is systemic in every institution?
Right. Yeah.
In every institution, there's
racism. Can I answer that, brother?
Yeah, go ahead, Brother Barney. All right, we're coming to you in a minute. Don't go nowhere.
One of the things that I heard the minister say is that they don't have the capacity to give us justice.
That's right.
Whatever they put on the table is an illusion, and we know that our separation is the best and the only solution. They asked the messenger at one point, what about those that don't want to separate? Well, then
it's in here too. It's in here.
He said he'll leave it to the Caucasian, to the white man, to do with them as he sees. So they either accept this, and they put two things on the table today: God and Satan.
But Barney, he says we want, in the same document, we want every black man and woman to have the freedom to accept or reject being separated from the slave master's children and establish a land of their own. So like you said, you don't want to go, stay here and see what you get.
Praise be to God. Thank you, brothers, for having me on. I appreciate it. God bless you.
Thank you, Brother Barney. But Brother James, that's actually freedom, justice, and equality.
Exactly.
If you want to stay with your slave master, you can stay. You want to go to Art now and get him in here?
Yes, sir.
Art, come on into the conversation. Thank you for calling.
Hey, what's going on, young people? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Here's my question. So far, which I know it's not going to happen. I don't care what laws they put in effect. It doesn't make any sense to expect your oppressor to do anything for you. So to me, that's just a bunch of nonsense. But my real concern is the black man, the black woman, and black children and family. And my biggest threat towards me and my community in Inglewood, and I am 55, and you all know me very well, and I've been out here. My real concern, it ain't the white man. It's the one that says he or she is my brother or my sister. Now, if we watching the news with all of the mayhem that's going on in our inner community, I am not sure that we are focusing on one thing, is rebuilding and re-strengthening the black family.
So Art,
black man.
So Art,
yes.
is that your black agenda right there, just dealing with the family, or is that one of the items you feel we would need to deal with?
And if so, what specifically, how would you approach it, bringing resolution to it?
Well, that is the foundation. Without a community code of conduct and the family value system, everything we put our hands on will fail, because the foundation of anything is family. I got as far as I got because it was a structure, which is family. Most children, not all, but most, follow the lead of their parents and what direction they go in, and parents set the tone. And we have lost that in our community, even to try to teach. And I think the Nation of Islam has excellent codes of conduct.
Yeah.
But I think that we have to come collectively and bring the people in and come up with what we call a universal code of conduct that all parties participate in, that we can govern our people by. Because if we don't put the family back together, we are doomed.
Yeah, so, Brother Naba'a, it sounds like Brother Art's agenda item is, on the black agenda, is a unified code of conduct, and underneath that there would be specifics, but there would have to be education centers. I would say re-education and retraining centers established around the country that will pull in some of new parents, adults, and those who can learn more about how to implement this code of conduct, how to raise children. But that's, to me, maybe a way some of that could happen, but that's what I hear coming as an agenda item.
And now you hit it right on the head. We already have the institutions, the churches, the mosques, and all of that. We have to put our doctrine, and I mean our own personal doctrine, to the side, and the codes of conduct and family value system has to come from, as well as those who sit in leadership, and I say excluding politicians and those who are pastors and activists, and get the consensus of our community, where this has nothing to do with whether it's a church or a mosque or you Jewish or whatever. Those has nothing to do with something general that our community can go by, and it's taught in all of our institutions, where it's universal, no matter what church, mosque, or whatever you go through. Because right now we have lost a complete way when it comes to family. It's totally lost.
All right, we got to pick up on a couple callers, but I think that's a great agenda item. Two things. One, if you start to go around and meet with people about this community code, we will bring you on the show and give you an hour to talk about the work that you're doing and to try to recruit others, organizations, groups, churches, and mosques to get involved. I think it's a beautiful idea.
Yeah.
I think you should move forward. You move forward with it, and you move forward with it. We will help get the word out about it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Wait. One more thing, Art.
Yes, sir.
Inshallah, we're going to have Siddiqui Kamboon of the Nubian Leadership Circle, and this is something that you might want to. You can look him up online, but they have cadres that's working on different issues in terms of developing not a black agenda, but developing us as a black nation. And family is one of their groups, okay? Family is one of their groups.
And let me add this. This is where I think that we get in a bit of trouble. If we stick with the word family, we know we black, but if we use the word family, it really erases the people going against you, because everybody can relate to a family.
Yes.
So when you are a black person, we talk about family. Of course, we know we talk about black people.
Right.
Nobody's going to be upset with us if we talk about family. Now, listen, last point. If we go black power, now you finna create a problem. If I go Nation of Islam, if I go Operation Push, if I start using all these tags, then here's come the division. But if we focus on the word family, we will be more successful, and people's ears will open more in your own community, because everybody wants to build the black family in terms that we all are black people and we want a family. Yeah. And that's why I specifically say the black man, the black woman, and black children.
All right.
That is the family.
Thank you. Look, but
Yes.
like I said, you start meeting with people, talking with people, we'll bring you on to talk about who you're talking to and talking about how people can get involved. But I hope you can hang around inshallah, we'll have Brother Siddiqui on soon. And one of their groups is family. I think that this would be a great thing for you to look into, and because he needs help. We need help. Thank you, brother. And may Allah bless you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to Coleman. Call is 773-591-1690. Politics, and agendas. Where are we at? Coleman, come on into the conversation, my brother. Welcome to the airwaves.
Yeah, thanks for taking me in. Peace and blessings. And a prosperous New Year's.
Thank you.
For all. You are so welcome. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for this dialogue. Thank you for being there for us, to receive us. Thank you.
Thank you, brother, for taking part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I want to just piggyback on the fact that we're still celebrating the Dr. King legacy,
Yes.
his gifts, and his grace that our Creator gave to him to leave to us. And I'm going to always say this one thing. I don't think that his speech, the speech that most of us hear that is played on the media, was a dream. I think his speech was a strategy for us as a people going forward.
Okay.
But I also want to ask the question, is it about, as it relates to reparation, does it come down to a skin color as a family, or does it come down to us as a Negro family when it comes to reparation?
Let me ask you a question, Coleman. Hold on one second, Coleman. I want you to clarify one thing for me. When you say the Negro family, what do you mean by that?
Well, Dr. King did speak a lot about the Negro family.
Uh-huh.
And I think that a lot of times our people don't understand who that family was. And fast forward, our people seem to think that our family was solely based upon a skin color. And those are two different views of a family.
Okay, I'm still trying. Okay, so what? So Coleman, from your view, what defines the Negro family?
Well, what defines a Negro family is that family's experience.
But you're still talking about black people, right?
Are you talking about the black family?
You're talking about black people, right?
No.
You're talking about the children of the former slaves in this country.
Well,
is that who you're talking about?
That's what we have not defined when we're talking about the black family. So
okay, well then define. Give me your definition, because when Dr. King was talking about the Negro family, he was using the language of that day when we were called Negroes, right? But he was certainly talking about black people. He was certainly talking about the children of the slaves. When you listen to the speech, the slave, "Would I Have a Dream," he talks about a check that America had failed to make good on,
right,
for black people who had suffered in this country, for black people who had contributed in this country. So, brother, so Negro and the Negro family was just part of the vernacular at the time by which he referred to us as a group. So I'm just trying to get to, from your perspective, when you say Negro family, how do you define that?
Yeah, I understand. I understand your point as far as how we define what we are trying to define, the differences between the two.
No, I'm just saying what is it? What is it?
There's a difference between the two simply because
wait, brother Coleman. You said wait. Hold on 1 second. You said there's a difference between the two. What two are you talking about?
Well, you're talking about, or you seem to make it about a some type of misunderstanding, where that I'm trying to come to the back to the point.
Okay, go ahead.
At the beginning of where we begin and where we are now.
Okay.
Because my point is that we're talking about reparations.
Okay.
We never seem to interject the Negro family into reparations as much as we are interjecting the black family into reparations.
Okay, Brother Naba'a.
My point is that I'm trying to simplify the point that.
Excuse me, Brother Coleman. We're running up against the clock, but are you separating the Negro family from the black family? Yes or no? Are you separating those two? Yes or no?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And so when you say Negro family with regard to reparations, you're not talking about black people receiving reparations. Yes or no?
I'm talking about the Negro family being at the front of reparations.
Coleman, I'll ask you one more time, and then we have to let you go. When you say Negro family being at the front on reparations, you already said you're not talking about black family. So if you're not talking about the black family receiving reparations, and you're saying that the Negro family is the one that needs to be put up at the front then obviously the definition of terms has to be clarified, and I don't think they can be clarified because in the context of the vernacular, as Brother Naba'a was referencing, they were one and the same. We just moved from Negro, from color to African American, and et cetera. So, but I'll let you have the last word. Okay, well, you don't say, as you described it, for me anyway, they are one and the same because you're saying reparations due to the Negro family. I don't think there's any reparations due to anybody more than the black family. So if you're not talking about that, then we definitely have.
See, brother,
and we do have to get ready to move on, but I really appreciate your call, brother.
Brother. Yeah, my brother, thanks for taking my call, but no, the Negro family is at the forefront when it comes to reparations.
Okay,
anything else is just a distraction.
All right. Thank you, Brother Coleman. Thank you. All right, Brother James. Brother, we got 2 minutes.
DJ.
Shelby, don't go nowhere. I'm sorry we had you holding for so long. We're going to get you in. Brother BJ.
Yes, sir.
Hall of Fame, Black Radio Hall of Fame
sir.
broadcaster. Y'all know that, right?
Voice,
the golden voice.
Brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, brother. This is a riveting conversation. We want everybody to make sure you join this conversation tonight because we got from the Nubian Leadership Council, Brother Siddiqui, next hour. So you know it's going to be on the chain. So Brother James D. Muhammad, Brother Naba'a, Richard Muhammad on fire tonight. This is Straight Words, y'all. We do it every Tuesday night from 9 p.m. until midnight. And you can join us as we continue to roll on here in the city of Chicago and through WVON.com. And we need your support. So Straight Words on Cash App. Straight Words on Cash App. $, Straight Words on Cash App. $, Straight Words on Cash App. Also on Zelle. 312-480-9775. 312-480-9775 on Zelle. Give us your best donation as well as PayPal. That's Straight Words is the number 4 at gmail.com. So let me give you the number one more time. 773-591-1690. Hold your place for next hour's conversation about the Black Agenda right here on WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON, Bergen, Chicago.
I'm Vanessa Tyler.
And I'm Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made it crystal clear. Our movement is unstoppable.
We are not going to be stopped by mace or by injunctions or any other methods that the city plans to use, and I think they're making a grave mistake because I think this will bring much more support nationally and otherwise to the movement.
And as we commemorate Dr. King, Vice President Kamala Harris celebrated the day in South Carolina talking about the King.
An organizer who moved the minds, the hearts, and the feet of the American people.
Speaking on the South Carolina State House steps, the VP also talked about what we face today.
They passed laws to ban drop boxes, limit early voting, and restrict absentee ballots. At this moment in America, freedom is under profound threat.
We know his dream, but there may be facts new to you about Dr. King. Time magazine reports Dr. King was the first black person named Times Person of the Year in 1963. Dr. King is the only person that's not a former president to have a national holiday, and it took years for that to happen. Dr. King attended college at age 15, skipping grades 9 through 12 and enrolling at HBCU Morehouse early. Years later, at age 35, he was the youngest person to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. One final fact, according to Time, to this day his family believes James Earl Ray was not the person who assassinated Dr. King. Reportedly, they blame the mafia and various government agencies.
It appears the culture war Republicans are waging are not the battles Republican voters see as a priority. HuffPost.com cites recent polls showing Republican voters have other priorities they would like lawmakers to tackle. Instead of the slew of bills in Florida, for an example, aimed straight at the gay community, one would prevent a trans person from changing their name on their license or use the correct pronouns at work, or a bill putting a limitation on drag performances. It's impressive if a 2-year-old can add 1 + 1. But Devin is way beyond that. The prodigy is a TikTok sensation. He's 2, just learning to speak, yet his math skills that of a pro, as the little black boy solves the multiplication, addition, division, and subtraction problems on his pint-sized whiteboard. He doesn't hesitate, just powers through, answering each correctly. On social media, stay connected with the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network, and on X at Black Infonet. I'm Vanessa Tyler with Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Happy New Year from Vaughn TV. In January, we're unveiling brand new content, a brand new look, and we're celebrating Dr. King. Join us MLK Weekend as we unveil new original programming, including a fresh installment of Vaughn Talks, powered by BMO. We'll introduce you to a new generation of leaders in Chicago and watch our Vaughn TV exclusive on the legendary actor Shirley Ralph in a conversation with WVON's Darlene Hill. It's part of our Speak Sister Speak series, brought to you by U.S. Bank. And we've got great documentaries and films in celebration of MLK's legacy. Vaughn TV is easy to watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, on WVON's app, or on any device at VON.TV. Happy New Year from WVON's digital streaming network, Vaughn TV. It's our culture on purpose.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weeknights, 6 to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I'll bring a national perspective to all things happening in Black America. It's talk the way you like it, and it's why America is listening.
It's the legendary Tavis Smiley, weeknights at 6 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Discover the captivating world of Black art and history at AfricanWorldArt.com. Are you seeking a unique and meaningful gift, or do you just want to come celebrate the richness of the Black diaspora? Our online gallery is the place for you, with a wide selection of paintings, sculptures, prints, posters, and more. Journey through time with images that document our triumphs and challenges, from present-day icons to ancient civilizations, as well as the struggles of slavery, resistance, civil rights, the Black Power movement, and the Black impact on sports, entertainment, politics, and global justice. AfricanWorldArt.com is more than just an online store. It's an inspiration drawn from our experiences. Visit AfricanWorldArt.com or call 267-312-4189. That's 267-312-4189. AfricanWorldArt.com. Since 1985, it's where Black fine art and historical pictures come to life. That's African spelled with a K. AfricanWorldArt.com.
Kendall Moore. That's right, it's your boy Kendall Moore. Get you from your work day to your weekend. Nothing is off limits to talk about. Of course, it's an open forum and the sky's the limit. Here to free your mind right here every Friday night from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Church.
Kendall Moore, Friday nights from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
We're in the new year with passion, vision, and commitment. Driving our weekly radio show, Straight Words, with Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad, Brother James G. Muhammad, and Brother B.J. Murphy. We're broadcasting on the historic WVON AM 1690, the Talk of Chicago, one of the few Black talk radio stations in America. And we plan to stay here, and we're asking for your help. Our Straight Words radio show is Black America's collective heartbeat, a space for Black voices, Black stories, and the Black struggle for true freedom, justice, and equality. We represent honest, spirited defenses of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan with clarity, accuracy, and bold truths. Make your strongest donation to help us via Cash App. That's $straight words on Cash App. Via Zelle, send your donations to 312-480-9775. And using PayPal, send financial support to straightwords, 4, @gmail.com. And don't forget, brothers and sisters, tune in every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. to midnight Central Time on WVON AM 1690, or listen on the iHeartRadio app or WVON.com. Visit straightwords.com for our audio archives and visit at Straightwords Media on YouTube for our videos and special features. We're black, we strong, and we unapologetically pro-Farrakhan. What's up, Chicago? This is B.J. Murphy.
This is Naba'a Richard Muhammad.
Tune in Tuesdays, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight on WVON 1690, The Talk of Chicago.
And we're streaming live on iHeartRadio and WVON.com. So again, that's Tuesday night, Central Time, 9 p.m. to midnight. It's Straight Words with Naba'a Richard Muhammad and
Brother B.J. Murphy.
And we are black, strong, and unapologetically pro-Farrakhan.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
The views expressed on our programs are not necessarily those of WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, we are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If 100 million of us lost our lives in the middle all right. Add it up. What is one black life worth? Add it up.
WVON 1690, The Talk of Chicago. This is Straight Words right here on WVON tonight. It's all about that black agenda, brother. That's a great clip. And somebody give us some context on that clip we just played for the brothers and sisters.
Yeah, that was from a speech the minister gave. Pretty powerful speech, added up, and he was talking about reparations. And he was talking about all of the different things that we had gone through and everything. The minister was talking about all of the different ways in which we have benefited or been exploited by, rather how this country has benefited or exploited us, whether fighting in wars, whether holding us as chattel slavery, whether dealing with us as free slaves. So that's from the speech added up. And we really want you to get it. And we going back, Brother James G.
It was at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, brother. Brother Naba'a, I think we want to move into. I believe we have a guest, right? Is he on?
I don't think he's on, but we got Shelby. Let's get Shelby.
Okay, go ahead. You take it. Take it. Because you're there. You can see the line.
Yeah, Shelby, come on in. Sorry for holding you so long.
Hey, good evening, brothers. How you guys doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Peace, brother.
Great. All right. I just wanted to say this in the spirit of Brother Steve Coakley. He was a person that introduced me to a lot of material. let me say this for a second. It'll probably take me 2 minutes. I'll try to be as brief as I possibly can.
Go ahead. We give you 3 minutes,
thank you.
brother. We give you 3. Go ahead.
I appreciate that. And you'll find that the information is relevant. I'll tell you exactly where to find it. You don't have to follow me anywhere. Dr. King's lawyer was named Dr. William Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote a series of 3 books. Act of State Orders to Kill, and his most recent book, which was published in 2016, is entitled The Plot to Kill King. On page 260, it states that Dr. King was shot at about 6:10 p.m. on that balcony at the Lorraine Motel, Memphis, Tennessee. And they took him to St. Joseph's Hospital. He made it there at about 6:15 p.m. According to this book on page 260, Dr. King he arrived alive and breathing. Okay, now, on page 261, there's a black surgical aide lady in the operating room. Her name is Lula Mae Shelby. That is her name, Lula Mae Shelby. And she was not allowed to go home on that night of April 4th, 68, but she went home the day after. And she gathered all of her children around the kitchen table and told them this story, that they brought Dr. King in, they put a trach in him, he was still breathing, and there's a white doctor named Dr. Bleen Bland. He came in, he told everyone to leave. And Mrs. Lula Mae Shelby heard someone sucking up the saliva, and they spit in Dr. King's face. This is on page 261. And right when she was walking out, she looked back, and that doctor put a pillow on Dr. King's face and smothered him. And she said, well, if he wasn't dead when he came in, he's dead now.
Wow.
Now, the person that did the most research ever on the death of Dr. King was Brother Steve Coakley. He's no longer with us, but you can find a lot of his information around. And as I said, this book is entitled The Plot to Kill King, by the attorney of Dr. King, Dr. William Pepper.
Yes.
And you can get exactly what I am not imposing anything on these pages. This is on page 260 and 261. And if anyone wants to read it, they can read it themselves. You could try to find Dr. William Pepper, see if he's still alive. Maybe you have him on your radio show, and he'll tell you exactly what I just said.
Shelby, thank you. Thank you for bringing it. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate you taking my call. You'll have a nice evening, man.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yes,
Happy King Day.
Yes, sir.
Happy King Day, the truth coming out.
Yes, sir.
We got
773. Okay, you got
Go ahead, bro, James.
No, I was just giving a number, 773-591-1690 to get in on the conversation. What's your Black Agenda topic? Do you have somebody on the line?
Yeah, we got Sel. We started out talking about politics, and agendas. Sel, welcome to the conversation.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much. One, I want to acknowledge your questioning, getting people to be more specific in what it is that they're proposing we should be doing or they are doing.
Yes.
I'm grateful for that. We can no longer afford to allow folks to talk in square circles back.
Right.
Wasting. Yeah, man. Yeah, for real. One, my Black Agenda is creating a structure that's going to be local, global, in terms of our respect and appreciation for a clean environment. You all start your program off with a clean environment from the inside out in terms of trying to purge yourself of any illegalities that might be occupying your spirit. And that's what my whole campaign of cleaning up is about.
Yes, sir.
Starting from the inside out.
Right.
To include our soul, our mind, heart, our temple, the bed we sleep in, or the portion of the bed that we sleep in, our bedroom, or the corner of the bedroom that our things might be in, our home, apartment, our yard, our block, the neighborhood, our communities, our town or cities, village. And it just expands, but the cleansing process that starts from the most centermost of us will influence the next perimeter. We all live in what is known as a perimeter, but it's the parameter that determines the quality of the perimeter. This is the least expensive route toward adding value to ourselves, and that's cleaning up. A lot of times it doesn't take money, just some time, some dedication, some will.
Yes.
Yes. Now, you asked a brother earlier tonight, look, get your campaign, get your project together. We'll give you an hour to come in and talk. Well, that's what I mean in terms of encouraging people to quit talking in those square circles backwards. Go on and get about the business of putting it in motion, structuring it.
Yes.
Giving it some type of legs other than conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working on a concept called ebony zones. Some of you might be familiar with the concept that's now being discussed called blue zones. This involves a white boy who went around the world.
Oh, these are the zones where the people live longer, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Because of certain social attributes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. The food you eat.
Right.
Who's been saying you are what you eat forever? Now everybody has picked up on it.
Well, we know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad started saying that in the 1930s. How to eat to live and not live to eat.
Right. Exactly. Thank you. Whether or not you have some type of a mission, that's another. When you wake up with a purpose, even though you might be well into your 90s and excuse me, the longevity of these people living in these 5 or 6 communities that he found around the world, live well into their 90s and beyond, in good health. You exercise. Do you do anything? Do you do anything other than, run on the treadmill of your mind? Do you have a mate? Are you fortunate to have a mate? Well, my point is that clean environment is just as critical for the evolution, the true evolution of all of us. Even if you got good food, even if you got a mate, even if you get up and you exercise every day, even if you got a purpose, and if that purpose ain't nothing more than to not be a problem to nobody else, by first of all not being a problem to yourself.
Go ahead, my brother.
A clean environment enhances, it helps to anchor all of those others toward the purpose of validating the possibility of us living a little longer, a little better. Well, I'm calling my effort an ebony zone. One that understood. There ain't no mixing around about, well, what's the difference, a Negro and black. That to me is what I'm talking about in terms of just, well,
so brother Sal, let me add. Can I add? First of all, I think it's a wonderful idea. But let me add. What I found, Brother Sal, is that a lot of our people, in particular, some of the young people, have resorted to using the term Negro because they want to make sure, or the American Negro, they want to make sure that the conversation is centered on those who are the descendants of those who have been held in chattel slavery for a number of reasons. That's why I was trying to get Brother Coleman to define what he meant. But Brother Self, thank you. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he didn't say cleanliness is next to godliness. He said cleanliness is godliness. And we have to be clean internally and externally. So, brother, you speaking some wisdom there.
I want to also, Brother Naba, thank Brother Sell, because now I picked up on his name. He used to, Brother Sell, didn't you come to some of the, LOCs? You had a very good presence.
Yes, sir.
You talked about the programs of cleaning up the communities and all of that, and I appreciated that. But your comments also reminded me, you know, like what the minister is doing in terms of the self-improvement study courses, where he talks about, you know, self-improvement is the basis for community development. So I applaud the work that you've always been doing, and I appreciate you calling in.
May I say one last thing?
Yes, sir.
I had the honor of hearing the 23rd Psalms presented as I have never heard it before. And the minister shared with us what was on that little piece of paper that Master Farad gave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he left.
Mm-hmm.
He said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad watched Master Farad walk until he was just a blimp in the distance. And he looked at the piece of paper, and it had the 23rd Psalms on it. I've never heard nobody do the 23rd Psalms the way the minister did that day. And I if there's some way that you can help me to find that presentation, I would be indebted.
Wow.
Yeah. I would suggest to you just call the final call building and reference that. I'm sure somebody could look into it and find the tape or the DVD or whatever if it's on.
Do you remember what venue? Remember what venue? Any idea?
I was there.
I thought it was at the mosque, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah,
right.
I remember him mentioning that too. He might have mentioned it on more than one occasion, actually.
Because if you can think about the time and the place.
Oh, now you got.
You can go. Well. Wait. Let me keep going. If you go to store.finalcall.com, there's a way to search these different lectures using keywords. So I would suggest you go there and because I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, I went there. I mean, this man, Minister Farrakhan, is giving away supreme wisdom. You talking $2 for a lecture? Did you hear me? $2. You can't even get some newspapers today for $2.
No, you can't.
The few that's still printing anyway, besides Final Call.
And they ain't worth the paper it's printed on.
Right. But, Brother Self, thank you for calling.
Thank you.
And thank you for your ebony zone on the agenda.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm honored.
So we got a question from Kenneth Watkins. This is online. I have a question. Why the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has been quiet? I guess he means quiet about illegals.
Quiet.
So I asked, what illegals? You talking about white folk? If you're talking about those who are now trying to get into this country, one, brother, I would say to you, come to Savior's Day. But the other thing is, look, you got Minister Ishmael Muhammad teaching every Sunday.
Come on.
Every Sunday. This is the minister's national assistant. Minister speaking every Sunday. So I invite you. 7351 South Stony Island Avenue. 10 a.m. this Sunday. Come on out and listen to Minister Ishmael. And then maybe see if you can ask him a question. Okay, Kenneth? But the minister speaks. Let me just say this, man, because I really feel this is rather disrespectful, and maybe I'm just taking it wrong.
No, you're right, bro. You're right.
But maybe, why is Farrakhan quiet? Farrakhan ain't never quiet.
That's right.
Be clear on that. He's never quiet out of fear. He's never quiet because he sold us out, man. And see, I'm trying to be even killed, man. But that slick talk.
Go ahead.
But see, that slick talk, I don't like that slick talk, man.
Right.
Because to me, in the question is the suggestion that somehow Farrakhan is quiet about these people to the detriment of black people. This man is 90 years old. I'm 62, man. He's been teaching longer than I've been alive.
That's right.
So I just want to be clear. You ain't got no stronger voice than Farrakhan.
That's right.
Who else is calling for separation? See, even the radical ones, so-called, you still want to reform this. You still talking about changing this. You still talking about reimagining this as opposed to imagining your own place.
That's right.
Imagining your own reality that comes up from your own culture. Now understand, brother Kenneth. You say something else about illegals? $1 million in it. What is it? Did you guys see that? What, JB? Yeah, but did you vote for the did you vote for the governor?
What was the question?
Hold on, let me see. It says, did you, I guess he's talking about J.B. Pritzker, just gave the illegals $100 million for the suburbs, a slap in the face to Dr. King on his birthday. But did you vote for J.B.? See, that's the question you need to ask all the Negroes that told you go out and vote for J.B. Did Farrakhan tell you go vote for J.B.? So look, man, I'm just saying this.
Good.
Let's speak. Look, man. Hey, look. I don't mean to be fanatical. I really don't.
But it's love, brother. It's love, man. When you love somebody,
and we should be.
You don't just let them walk over people.
Yeah, and we should be, with all due respect.
Yeah.
Brother Kenneth, please accept my apology for raising my voice. I didn't mean to do that, but I'm just going to say this. Let us be careful of our language. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's all.
Brother Naba'a, the Honorable Ms. Farrakhan has spoken on immigration issues. All you have to do is go to, like you said, store.finalcall.com and keyword that. Put that in keyword. But I would also suggest to Brother Kenneth and others, the minister has also talked about, he did lectures a while back about the spider's web, about in the Quran it talks about getting caught in the spider's web. And I would suggest that we don't get caught in the spider's web of what the enemy spins his web, because certain things he will spin out there just to trap certain folk.
Yeah.
And when we get the off track question, especially when it comes to questioning good leadership,
come on, man,
then that's an issue of, why would you even think that?
Yeah.
Unless there was a suggestion made.
Yeah.
An evil suggestion and a firm resolution.
Yes.
The suggestion that maybe Farrakhan is being quiet and that ain't right. That ain't good. What is he afraid of? So sometimes we just got, as we just were talking about, look into ourselves before we even ask a question.
Yeah. And
but you're right to defend it.
And I'm just going to say to my brother Kenneth, because I don't want to be out of pocket. Look, brother, we are not saying the minister cannot be questioned. He has never said that.
Right.
He has never said that. But in our lessons, we are taught to ask questions to learn all about ourselves.
Yes.
So sometimes language can suggest things that we're trying to suggest, or things that we are saying that we don't mean to suggest. I think a better phrasing of the question from my little point of view would have been, has Minister Farrakhan spoken about migrants? Right? Has the minister given a position about the thousands of migrants and the millions of dollars being spent on them while we are giving nothing and our people suffer. Right? I understand, Brother Kenneth, a lot of people are hurting. Seriously. And a lot of people are in pain, our people, because they're tired of literally being put at the back of the line. They're tired of how can you, black people suffering in Chicago, been suffering. Yeah. Black people homeless, black people driven out of the city, black people suffering. You couldn't find any way to do anything for us, right? But you found the money in the name of humanitarian aid. Are we not human beings? But this is your elected leadership. So it goes back to politricks, politics, and agendas. So, Brother Kenneth, please, my dear brother, accept my apology, because I would never want to insult you, disrespect you. I think I understand where you're coming from. And a lot of our people are hurt. But what
That's
many
right.
of us don't know is the people that are coming from Venezuela, they're being driven out of Venezuela in large part because of policies that come from America. Because they don't like Venezuela. But I understand, Brother Kenneth.
Or they want the resources.
Yeah,
of Venezuela.
but I understand, Brother Kenneth. It's very angering, you know. But this is why we're talking about agendas, and this is why we're putting out the program of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where he says we need a separate state of territory of our own, because we see, I'll say this, Brother Kenneth, in my humble opinion, all of these things are signs, right, that the enemy is never going to find a way to give us unless Allah forces him to, by bringing this country to his knees. Then he won't have no choice to give it up, because his power will be broken. So I'm going to stop there. But thank you, Brother Kenneth, for participating. Please, brother, continue to participate. And please accept my apology. Let's go to Deborah. Look, hey, y'all call in. This is not a monologue. This is a dialogue. 773-591-1690. Let's get Deborah in.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting my call, and a blessed evening to both of you, brothers. There was a call of Brother Shelby. I've heard his voice before. In fact, I've heard him bring the information about Dr. King. I've heard that before, wealth of information and knowledge. In fact, your upcoming guest, Brother Siddiqui, I heard him last and have wondered, was he okay, how he's doing, because the assignment that he's on to bring light to and the investigation and to follow up with the late Ms. Coretta Scott King's request for the investigation opening up. And I've called into the president's line, Biden's line, for just that, for him to see Siddiqui, the Nubian Center, Square Center, as well as that of Minister Farrakhan. But now that I know that you said that there's an international, his assistant, I will say that because I don't want to overwhelm the minister, but I know that the love that he has, and I didn't get a chance. I'm always invoking his name. Even on the bus drive was very most grateful and customer etiquette, speaking to the passengers, and I brought up, I said, oh, we need you, Minister Farrakhan, and this will turn us around. He acknowledged what I was saying, that it's that type of love for our people. You were saying as far as agenda,
Yes.
A wraparound for our young people. Wrap around the way that they're wrapping their arms around those who have come here, asylum seeker, illegal immigrants, and all of those. They're giving them wraparound services. We should have had that all along from Dr. King forward. Mayor Harold Washington, that was love. That's what's needed, a wraparound. And as of right now, and I said this to you all before, I've called before, that as far as our young people, I'm confident that once they see who we are, whose we are, because they'll learn who they are from the nation showing our young people, that'll give them a sense of identity. And yeah, that as far as the family, so critically important. And back to the governor, Mark Wallace, when he had a platform, he was telling people, he was playing the tapes of J.B. Pritzker, and it's unfortunate that his voice is silenced, because he was one of the ones that I felt was telling the truth and trying to show us. And as far as the elected people, especially those who've been in office forever, people want to be their friends and, almost like they're entertainers, instead of you have their ear, ask them, why aren't they doing something for our people? Look at our communities. In fact, I think that there is a house that's been built on a spot of land. It seemed like it was covered up. So can they just come into the country, find a piece of land, maybe even buy it from a politician, and build a house, and nobody will ever know?
Yeah, Sister Deborah.
I thank you.
I want to go. So your agenda item, wraparound services. Well, first of all, a presidential meeting with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, your agenda item. Second agenda item, wraparound services for our young people.
Specifically from brothers from the nation.
Very good. So wraparound services for our young brothers in particular from the men in the Nation of Islam to help develop them.
Yes, sir.
Mentor them, teach them. Thank you very much, my sister. Thank you for calling in.
And please, if you would, Brother Siddiqui, please let him know he's in my prayer. And I have said to President Biden, open that up and talk to Siddiqui as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, Brother Naba'a, I don't know if we have another call. I just want to make a quick comment.
No, go ahead, brother. This is your subject, man.
Because hearing our sister, it does speak to exactly what we're talking about, even on a local level, of having an agenda that has teeth behind it.
Right.
And I say that because, as she mentioned, we've had people so-called that are homeless under bridges, etc., for many, many, many years. There's been little attention paid to them, and when there was, it was only to move them from one bridge to another, under another bridge, but never to have an outpouring of services and funds similar to how we're helping our brothers and sisters from South America. We've never put the pressure on our elected officials, because that has never been what I would call an agenda item that had people behind it and force and teeth behind it.
Yeah.
So it was always a one-off, and we would maybe protest when something happened to our brothers under the bridges or whatever, but nothing that would put pressure to bring some solution in terms of, hey, build these tents in this vacant lot, or open up some more of these mental facilities. So I just wanted to throw that in there as well, because I appreciate the sister's comment.
Yeah, and Brother James, I'm looking for, I found all this stuff and now I can't find it. Would you believe this? I don't know if I sent it. I don't know if I emailed it to you.
What's that?
The Biden administration's list of accomplishments for black folk?
Oh, no. Okay,
Did I send that to y'all? Well, I'm going to look for it because, Brother James, I wanted to know what is it that they said, and I'm going to look for it so we can talk about it a little.
And when you find it,
because this is the reason. This is the reason. You said on the program, right? You said on the program basically that whatever is quote unquote on our agenda is really always subsumed in a bigger agenda, and then they say we benefited from it, right? That's almost exactly what this thing says. I didn't see no numbers. I just see all these different things. Someone looked that up, and we had Ice Cube's contract with Black America. So go ahead, brother.
I was just going to mention Brother Ice Cube's thing because, and I don't want to make this about a Democrat or Republican, but he had an agenda. He had a document. He had words on paper that addressed issues. They were just bullet points and paragraphs under it that needed to be actually fleshed out, but they were guiding posts. So he had this, and he presented it. He wanted to present it to a Democrat, from what I understand, and he couldn't get an audience. So he went to the Republicans. He went to Trump. He set a paper down, had a conversation about issues, about a plan of reconstruction to redress past wrongs, a plan about bank lending that would make more loans and credit worthiness to our people, about a whole list of items, about 13 of them, all of them that would benefit our people. But he got pushback.
Oh, he got way more than pushback.
Yeah,
they tried to slaughter him.
Yeah. So the question is, then what would you want the man to do?
Yeah.
If he offered to meet with the Democrat Party, and they wouldn't, what do you think about? That's where the anger should have been. Why didn't they meet with him?
Exactly.
And why are we say? Of course, the Republicans are going to do what they want to do. They're going to spend whatever, but they heard what he had to say.
Yeah, and at least they met with him.
And met with him.
At least they met with him. And the thing about that, Brother James, is what I call the sphere of a white sheet politics, where I was listening to the minister who did a lecture in 1996 after the Million Man March to the Convention of the Oppressed, right? And at that point, he mentioned, like Bob Dole was the boogeyman. At one point, Nixon was the boogeyman. At another point, Reagan was the boogeyman. George Bush Sr. was the boogeyman. George Bush Jr. was the boogeyman. Donald Trump's the big boogeyman.
Yeah.
But every time they bring out these fearful figures and tell us we should vote or the boogeyman is going to get us. But at the same time, there's not a proactive demand. And what the other thing I want to point out is that this is from we had after the Million Family March in 2000, there was released a national agenda, public policies, issues, analyses, and programming for a plan of action from 2000 to 2008. So this was a plan for 8 years. Section 1, Art, check this out. The first section, family, morality, and public policy. Section 2, political empowerment. Section 3, justice issues. Section 4, strengthening families. Hey, brother Art, if you're listening, you need to stop by the final call and get one of these and check it out. Section 5, quality of life. Section 6, economic transformation. Section 7, international affairs. Now, certainly this would have to be updated, but many of the issues are the same. I just want to read a little something from the foreword. Why should there be a national agenda? It is clear from watching the political debate that has been going on in the country for the last several years, that there is and has been a steady erosion of the principles of democracy. This document came out in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
If this is to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, then the enlightenment of the people must be the cornerstone of a truly democratic society. It is only when the masses of the people are enlightened and have an enlightened self-interest that their vote in a democratic society has real meaning. Right. It is only when the masses of the people are enlightened and have an enlightened self-interest that their vote in a democratic society has real meaning. With the erosion of the American educational system and the graduating of young people out of high school, of whom 30% are considered functionally illiterate, with the dumbing down of the American people, that they become as sheep, easily led in the wrong direction, easily manipulated by powerful forces, then democracy begins to lose its meaning in the lives of the masses of the American people, producing a tremendous degree of dissatisfaction. As a result, there's been a continuous decline in voter turnout and participation in the last few presidential elections. So again, brothers and sisters, 773-591-1690. Unfortunately, brother, go ahead, brother James.
Yeah, I don't know if you had a call or anything, but can I read one thing real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
And this here is from the Black Agenda, the Gary meeting in 1972.
Go ahead.
Mayor Thatcher and all those guys, Mayor Hatcher. He said, this is a document that they produced. For more than a century, we followed the path of political dependence on white men and their systems. From the Liberty Party in the decades before the Civil War to the Republican Party of Abraham Lincoln, we trusted white men and white politicians as our deliverers. 60 years ago, W.E.B. Du Bois said he would give the Democrats their last chance to prove their sincere commitment to equality for black people. And he was given white riot and official segregation in peace and in war. Nevertheless, some 20 years later, we became Democrats in the name of Franklin Roosevelt, then supported his successor, Harry Truman, and even tried a nonpartisan Republican general of the Army named Eisenhower. We were ruled, like many others, by the superficial liberalism of John F. Kennedy and the make-believe populism of Lyndon Johnson. Let there be no more of that. Both parties have failed us. And so that was back in 1972, and both parties have still failed us. And with regard to the response to Ice Cube, brother, I would call it, as that movie is, The Silence of the Lambs. And I say that because black people have been rounded up in a corral of the Democratic Party, and when you go outside that corral, the lambs become frightened. And they start shivering and they be quiet, and they send somebody out to get the one that escaped and went to the other side. So and that's the situation we're in, man.
773-591-1690. We're talking politics and agendas. I want to go, Brother James, to this, and Brother BJ, to this document here. This is the Biden administration's fact sheet. Biden-Harris administration advances equity and opportunity for black Americans and communities across the country. Almost make you want to get up and salute, except you know it ain't true. So you sit down and hold on to your hat. Let's go to the first part. I'm not going to read that. I'm trying not to read too much, you know. But brothers and sisters, look, you know, the whole point of this discussion was to hear from you and to bring actual facts and information, right? That was the point. Because we had some people call, I forget the sister's name, but she said, I'm really tired of black folk not articulating what they really want. And I think that there are people out there who have articulated these things, but very often we are not in good communication with one another. Or we're not galvanizing the mass of the people. So I'm gonna do two things real quick, and come on, y'all, call in. I think Brother Sadiq is not gonna be on, but if you go to the Facebook page, I posted some information about the Nubian Leadership Circle, and they do these quarterly meetings, right, online, and they're working on really building our community, building the black nation. And their next session, let me see, I thought I put it up here. We'll go to NubianLeadershipCircle.org, NubianLeadershipCircle.org, and you can register. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, if you want to get involved in something, right? If you want to get involved in something, if you want to build something, if you want to lend your talent to something, this is a great place to start. And it's not the biggest effort, but neither was the Million Man March when it started.
Right.
It was those who were committed, though. And I think this is a great thing. So, NubianLeadershipCircle.org, check them out. Register. This thing it's growing and growing. I wish we would have Brother Siddiq on tonight. I'm going to do this real quick, Brother James. Economic opportunity. This is from the Biden-Harris. Dun, 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 dun. Accomplishments. Let me see. Is it easy? Should I just read this, or what's the? Try to figure out what's the easiest.
Go ahead.
All right. If it gets to be too long, I'm gonna stop. Okay. All right. Here you go. Here you go. This is on official White House paper. This came straight from the master desk. It's to us Negroes. Okay. This is one of their points, right? Biden-Harris administration's vital policies and programs, lowering energy costs, and creating economic opportunities through inflation reduction. So through this Inflation Reduction Act, President Biden is delivering on his promise to build an economy that works for working families, including black families. Brother James. Biden and the congressional Democrats fought to pass this historic legislation to help all Americans, including African Americans. Right? But I don't see no numbers. I don't see no numbers proving this. And let me go to something else real quick, because I got some numbers that I want to give you. This is from Forbes magazine. And I know we're running out of time, Brother BJ. This is from Forbes magazine, an article from June 18, 2021. Black Americans earned, this is just what, 3 years ago? Less than 3 years ago. Black Americans earn 30% less than white Americans. While black households have just 1/8 of the wealth. Let me read this all over again. Black Americans, this is like today, man, earn 30% less than white folks just because we black. I'm not saying it. Forbes magazine said it.
Right.
While black households have just 1/8 of the wealth of white households. So my question to the Biden administration, did your policy move those numbers in any way? And if it did, give us the actual facts. See, so brothers and sisters, when you talk about people being employed in economic recovery, all economic progress isn't the same. Ask the auto workers how much they made versus how much the corporate bosses made, right? So even though you can improve, let's say you're making more money, but you're still making less than the children of the slave master. So let's say you've got a job, but you don't have the benefits, you don't have the opportunity for advancement, but you got a job. So the unemployment is low, but what is the quality of the position that you have? And what are the prospects for your success? That's one. I'm going to come to something else real quick because
yeah, you got time.
I got time? Okay. Because I did a lot of research on this stuff, man. This is from, I think this is from the Economic Policy Institute. Understanding, this is talking about, I'm going to just read the title and it'll let you know. Understanding black-white disparities in labor market outcomes requires models that account for persistent discrimination and unequal bargaining power. This is by Valerie Wilson and Dr. William Darity. This was published March 25th, 2002. I'm going to read just a couple quick paragraphs. Brothers and sisters, we really wanted to give you information tonight. And we wanted to hear from you, and we still want to. And I hope I don't sound like I'm droning on. I hope that the message is getting through. This is the executive summary from this document. The assumption of a perfectly competitive labor market is central to some of the most widely accepted theories in the field of labor economics, okay? But, check this out, man. But the persistent threat of unemployment in combination with prohibitive conditions imposed by employer practices, public policy, incomplete information about job opportunities, and geographic immobility, meaning that you stuck wherever you are, you just can't even move to where the opportunity is, means workers often cannot change jobs or employers without a cost. Okay, now check this out. This imbalance of power disproportionately disadvantages black workers. One of the most durable and defining features of the U.S. labor market is the 2-to-1 disparity in unemployment that exists between black and white workers.
Right. I'm going to carry that over to the next hour. We're right at the top here. We got about 45 seconds. So we will come back with this Black Agenda, brothers and sisters. WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago. Hold your place in line. Jump on the phone lines right now. We want to hear from you. 773-591-1690. That is 773-591-1690. This is WVON 1690. You're listening to Straight Words.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
I'm Vanessa Tyler.
And I'm Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made it crystal clear, our movement is unstoppable.
We are not going to be stopped by mace or by injunctions or any other methods that the city plans to use, and I think they're making a grave mistake because I think this will bring much more support nationally and otherwise to the movement.
And as we commemorate Dr. King, Vice President Kamala Harris celebrated the day in South Carolina talking about the King.
An organizer who moved the minds, the hearts, and the feet of the American people.
Speaking on the South Carolina State House steps, the VP also talked about what we face today.
They passed laws to ban drop boxes, limit early voting, and restrict absentee ballots. At this moment in America, freedom is under profound threat.
We know his dream, but there may be facts new to you about Dr. King. Time magazine reports Dr. King was the first black person named Times Person of the Year in 1963. Dr. King is the only person that's not a former president to have a national holiday, and it took years for that to happen. Dr. King attended college at age 15, skipping grades 9 through 12 and enrolling at HBCU Morehouse early. Years later, at age 35, he was the youngest person to receive the Nobel Peace Peace Prize. One final fact, according to Time, to this day his family believes James Earl Ray was not the person who assassinated Dr. King. Reportedly, they blame the mafia and various government agencies.
It appears the culture war Republicans are waging are not the battles Republican voters see as a priority. HuffPost.com cites recent polls showing Republican voters have other priorities they would like lawmakers to tackle. Instead of the slew of bills in Florida, for an example, aimed straight at the gay community, one would prevent a trans person from changing their name on their license or use the correct pronouns at work, or a bill putting a limitation on drag performances. It's impressive if a 2-year-old can add 1 + 1, but Devin is way beyond that. The prodigy is a TikTok sensation. He's 2, just learning to speak, yet his math skills that of a pro, as the little black boy solves the multiplication, addition, division, and subtraction problems on his pint-sized whiteboard. He doesn't hesitate, just powers through, answering each correctly. On social media, stay connected with the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network, and on X at Black Infonet. I'm Vanessa Tyler with Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Happy New Year from Vaughn TV. In January, we're unveiling brand new content, a brand new look, and we're celebrating Dr. King. Join us MLK Weekend as we unveil new original programming, including a fresh installment of Vaughn Talks, powered by BMO. We'll introduce you to a new generation of leaders in Chicago and watch our Vaughn TV exclusive on the legendary actor Shirley Ralph in a conversation with WVON's Darlene Hill. It's part of our Speak Sister Speak series, brought to you by U.S. Bank. And we've got great documentaries and films in celebration of MLK's legacy. Vaughn TV is easy to watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, on WVON's app, or on any device at VON.TV. Happy New Year from WVON's digital streaming network, Vaughn TV. It's our culture on purpose.
It's all about great food and service at Let's Eat to Live restaurant located at 621 East 67th Street on the south side of Chicago. Fresh, healthy, life-giving meals prepared with love. Veggies, fish, chicken, lamb, burgers, soups, breads, delicious desserts, and more. Some coming from our on-site garden in season. We got good food for your soul. It's 621 East 67th Street. It's Let's Eat to Live restaurant. You can stop by or you can call 773-966-6549 or visit the website letseattolivecafe.com.
Hi, it's Travis Smiley, inviting you to join me weeknights, 6 to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I'll bring a national perspective to all things happening in Black America. It's talk the way you like it, and it's why America is listening.
It's the legendary Travis Smiley, weeknights at 6 p.m. on The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
We're in the new year with passion, vision, and commitment. Driving our weekly radio show, Straight Words, with Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad, Brother James G. Muhammad, and Brother B.J. Murphy. We're broadcasting on the historic WVON AM 1690, The Talk of Chicago, one of the few black talk radio stations in America. And we plan to stay here, and we're asking for your help. Our Straight Words radio show is Black America's collective heartbeat, a space for black voices, black stories, and the black struggle for true freedom, justice, and equality. We represent honest, spirited defenses of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan with clarity, accuracy, and bold truths. Make your strongest donation to help us via Cash App. That's $Straight Words, $Straight Words on Cash App. Via Zelle, send your donations to 312-480-9775. And using PayPal, send financial support to Straight Words, the number 4, at gmail.com. And don't forget, brothers and sisters, tune in every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. to midnight Central Time on WVON AM 1690, or listen on the iHeartRadio app or WVON.com. Visit straightwords.com for our audio archives and visit at Straight Words Media on YouTube for our videos and special features. We're black. We strong, and we unapologetically pro-Farrakhan.
What's up, Chicago? This is BJ Murphy.
This is Naba'a Richard Muhammad.
Tune in Tuesdays, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight on WVON 1690, The Talk of Chicago.
And we're streaming live on iHeartRadio and WVON.com. So again, that's Tuesday night, Central Time, 9 p.m. to midnight. It's Straight Words with Naba'a Richard Muhammad and
Brother BJ Murphy.
And we are black, strong, and unapologetically pro-Farrakhan.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
The views expressed on our programs are not necessarily those of WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, we are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Minister Louis Farrakhan, WVON 1690, The Talk of Chicago. We are doing the Black Agenda Show. Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad, Brother James G. Muhammad, yours truly, Brother BJ Murphy. We are here, y'all, from 9 p.m. until midnight every Tuesday. We hope you enjoy the program. We hope you will continue to support us. We appreciate all the donations that came in last week.
Yeah, we need some this week, though. We need some this week, though, bro, DJ.
Yeah.
We up against it. We up against it,
yes,
man.
Sir. So, keep it flowing, brothers and sisters.
We brothers and sisters. Look, we really need your help this week. Look, we plan to do and look soon to hear the show advertised on FinalCallRadio.com. Our show advertised on FinalCallRadio.com. So as we say, this is not public access radio. This is pay to play radio. No pay, you don't get no play. So look, Brother BJ, give them where to go to give, please. One more time.
That's right.
And make your strong donation. Make a donation like you're strong and you want to be free.
That's right. Come on. Give it like I like what you said, bro. Give that donation like you want to be free. Like this is your last donation you ever gonna give in your life. $ straight words. $ straight words on Cash App, 312-480-9775. 312-480-9775 on Zelle, and straight words, the number 4 at gmail.com on PayPal. You can call us 773-591-1690. We talk about being free tonight, brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And I remember the minister said this, and I hold this in my heart, brother. He said, God does not ask a man to ask another man to be free. Anybody that want to be free will be free by their own blood and sweat. And when you got black voices that you're hearing tonight, the 2 editors that work at the Final Call newspaper, the freest black paper on the planet.
Absolutely
we're talking this free talk, this freedom talk. Freedom, justice, and equality is what we hang our hat on. And I wanted to also, brother, I know you want to go back over to the Biden agenda, what they said they did for black people, but you know, only in controlling where we live, we talk about a separation and independence. I'd like to chime in on that a little bit too when we get a chance.
I tell you what, let me make this quick point, brother. Tell you what, Brother BJ, can you
yes, sir.
Don't lose your point.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna make a quick point. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to make a point. Then we're going to bring Brother Ronald in. So what I was reading from on the other side, brothers and sisters, was, look, this was essentially a study and analysis, and it was dealing basically with understanding why you see these disparities between blacks and whites in the labor market, right? So I mean, it's really powerful. It's called Unequal Power, and the authors of this thing are Valerie Wilson and William Darity Jr. It was published in March 25th, 2022. Unequal Power. So look that, Google that, right? But one of the things, and these people are really powerful researchers, black folk. One of the things that they said is that when people look at these disparities, whether it's in employment or whether it's in wages, because remember, I just said we earn in general 30% less, right? They said that very often it has been said that the problem has been education, right? One of the problems is education. But they point out that blacks have made considerable gains in education. But despite making those gains, right? And despite making those gains at the college and high school level, that these disparities have not gone away. And at the end of the day, it's still racial discrimination that is keeping us from being able to benefit from the system like as we should economically. Let's bring in Brother Ronald, who's been holding so patiently. Brother Ron, come on into the conversation. Brother Ronald.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Ron. Yes, sir, brother. I was listening earlier, and the discussion was on policies and agenda.
Right.
Well, if we really are sincere about a policy and agenda, they need to go to page 8 in the final call.
This week?
Yeah, okay. Every week.
I'm going there right now, Brother Lieutenant. I'm on page 8, sir. Go ahead.
What does it say?
It says, and I quote, the headline reads, white scholars ponder the quote-unquote causes of their own race's evil doings. Get into that, Brother Ronald. Why am I reading this?
I'm just saying, even when you go into the introductory page, where it shows U.S. policy, U.S. policy is depopulation.
Go ahead.
Well, they clearly have legislated and stated what their policy and agenda is.
Yeah.
So why if a man then told you publicly, legislatively, written it out, that I'm going to kill you. Yeah. What else you need?
I don't know.
I mean, look, in essence, he's an open enemy. And ain't no shame in his game.
Ain't no shame in his game. Huh?
At all. That's U.S. policy. That's U.S. governmental
policy. Go ahead.
So any agenda that they want to put together cannot include his participation.
It can't include what you said?
It cannot include his participation.
The participation of the enemy.
Cannot. So the separation is mandatory. It is the only solution, bro. It's this, so and then ultimately when the so-called representative government that we have don't address U.S. policies, in regards to us who are living here, who have lifelong contributors to the upliftment and establishment of this nation, and it's your policy to kill me and the so-called representation I have in government does not speak to that. Yeah. So, man, what? Why are we even talking to him?
I guess all we can do is let them go, huh, Brother Ron? They didn't let us go. I guess we need to let them go.
That's right.
And embrace ourselves in 2024.
Oh, we want more than 24.
We want more in 24. We want more. And that's the we. We want more in 24. Thank you, Brother Ron. You done gave me my slogan. Black folk want more in 24, baby.
That's right.
Put that on the t-shirt. Black folk want more in 24.
24.
All right. All right, Brother Ron. Thanks for calling in. Black folk want more. When? In 24. Brother BJ, go ahead. Then we're going to go to Sam Bell, and then we're going to go to P. Ray. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Just want to drop in with the separation and independence, right?
Yeah.
Because black people, we've got to own and control where we live.
Yes.
And I was looking in the book of Leviticus. I want to read just these couple of verses here.
Go ahead, read
Leviticus
the verses.
Leviticus 20, 22 through 27. And this talking about separation.
Ooh, in the Bible?
Yes, sir, in the scriptures.
Let me get my Bibles down.
Yeah, get your Bibles out. Have a little Bible study on this Tuesday night.
Go ahead, man.
Ye shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell therein spew you not out. And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation which I cast out before you, for they committed all things, and therefore I abhorred them. But I have said unto you, you shall inherit the land, black people, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people. Come on now, Allah.
Nah, that can't be us, brother.
Yeah, okay, what you say?
I just finished. I was saying that can't be us. We just black people. God ain't gonna give us that. God ain't gonna do that, man. That's the Bible. That's 100,000. That's 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's only if you believe in the white Jesus and the white God. You need a black revolutionary Messiah out here. Go ahead, brother.
Let me finish it up. I got verse 25 and 26 is going to cap it off.
Go ahead.
Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean. And ye shall not make your souls abominable by beasts, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that you should be mine.
All right, brother BJ. Brother BJ.
Come on.
For those of us that might be a little bit biblically illiterate, give me 30 seconds and explain what that means. And what do that mean, man?
Break it down, brother. For the brother on 67.
You got to be separated.
We got to be separated.
You got to be separated, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that separation is the what? Best and only solution.
Thank you, bro.
So whether you want to be separated or not, you will be separated.
Well, no, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you can vote. So you ain't got to go with your own people if you don't want to.
Right.
It's right there in the program.
Hey.
You ain't got to go. You can stay with Mr. Charlie if you want to. Let's go
That's
to
right.
we got Sam Bell. Then we're gonna go to P. Ray. Everybody stay. Don't go nowhere. Then we're gonna go to Cliff. Then we'll go to Pastor Victoria Brady. So Sam, are you in? We got Sam in.
Yes.
Thank you very much for calling in. Go right ahead.
Yes. That's true. That's true. He said, I go to church every Sunday. I believe in God. I believe in the Lord. What He tell me. And I believe that Jesus Christ died for us. Died for all our people and stuff. And I feel, the grace of God. But the people and my underground people, they don't have nothing, nowhere to live. I think God was God's life for them, wherever they live and go.
Yeah.
But it's sad, the way they living. They don't have nowhere to sleep, nowhere to eat, nowhere to drink. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I feel that we all should have something in life, But God can give them things they need. Just have to pray for them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I pray for the Muslims too. The Muslims in the temple.
Yes,
like
sir.
Elijah Muhammad. Like Daniel Farrakhan.
Yes,
they. I believe the Muslim stuff. The Muslim what they say.
Yes,
y'all don't. They don't eat meat or nothing. They don't eat meat.
Yeah.
They are vegetarians.
Yeah.
And I think about Malcolm X. Malcolm X, he was a good person too on the temple.
Yes.
Like Malcolm X and his daughter and his wife.
Yeah.
And Shabazz. I honor the Muslims and stuff. What they do, that's good. Y'all doing what's good. Y'all becoming the Muslims. Y'all religion is good. What y'all doing, y'all religion.
Thank you.
Organization thing.
Hey, Brother Sam, thank you.
brother.
Thank you. And we will continue. And we will continue to do good. And what we need to work on is doing good together. Whether we're Muslims, Christians, whatever we all have something to give. Thank you for calling, Brother Sam. Call us back again soon. All right, peace. Let's go to P. Ray. Let's bring P. Ray into the conversation.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you all for taking my call. I was touching on a conversation. I wanted to chime in because when we talk about the things that we have to do, you guys know that I always talk about self-esteem. Self-esteem for the Negro is what we have to accomplish. If you listen to this radio station during the day, let's go back. If an alien from the edge of outer space came to the earth and landed in Chicago and turned on their radio and listened to this station, you would think that black folks are the most horrible, lazy, pitiful, downtrodden, victimized, oppressed, nothing of a group of people you ever heard, right? Or ever seen. And those opinions are not coming from people outside of our community. They're coming from people from within our community and people who are seen as experts and valid people to speak against us. So it doesn't matter if we get all the acres of land, if we put a stick in the ground and gold and oil pop out, right? It doesn't matter if we don't feel good about ourselves. We don't even define ourselves as one thing. So for me, I call myself a Negro. The reason I call myself a Negro is because that is the legal term that ties me to this land as a non-immigrant, right? But then some people don't like to be called Negro. So then some people call themselves African American, but then that incorporates the immigrant. Or people call themselves Black, but then that incorporates the immigrant. Or on Twitter, people are saying that they're ADOS, American descendant of slavery, but we know that includes white people who were sentenced to indefinite indenture
servitude. But that ain't slavery.
Yeah. No, hold on. No. Yeah.
No. Indentured servitude is not slavery.
I know.
And there were some blacks, and there are some blacks at a certain point in the country that were indentured servants also. But go ahead.
Yes, sir. I said if you were sentenced to indefinite indenturitude, if they said if you came over here from Ireland and you acted a fool and they took you before that court, that judge could say, you know what, I sentence you to indefinite servitude, right? So at that point, you never getting out of that indenturitude. So that ADOS would include those people too, logically. So I don't go with that either. So I say all that to say, I say that I'm a Negro because I am in America. We have our own language. We got our own national anthem. We got our own culture. We have our own economy. We have our own everything. We already have everything we need to be a standalone nation. What we are missing is self-esteem. And it is so frustrating not only to hear this on the station, but within my millennial group, the black educated class espouses the worst things about black folks you ever want to hear. And it's because they believe that they are the notable exception and everybody else needs to be taken care of. So self-esteem is my thing. If we talk about policies and all that good stuff, once we get our self-esteem together, all of that stuff will flush out and we'll flourish again.
Thank you very much, my sister. And I wanted to thank you, P. Ray, for calling. I wanted to say this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what did he tell us? He told us, accept your own and be yourself. And he said that we needed a thorough knowledge of self and love of self. So I think, sister, you're absolutely right. And I'm going to quote a book that I'm sure you're familiar with, The Miseducation of the Negro. So we need a thorough re-education. Pastor Victoria, don't go nowhere. We're going to Cliff, and then we're coming right to you. Cliff, come on in, man. Good to hear from you this week. Good to hear from you. Cliff, you in there? Clifford. Cliffy.
Play my hole. You probably.
Okay, hey, Cliff, we're going to come back to you. Let's go to my good friend and a freedom fighter. I call her Sister Lieutenant, Pastor Victoria Brady. I'm so glad you called in, my sister. Come on into the conversation.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Wa alaikum salam. I'm going to have to put on my mask and come visit you. It's been much too long since I've seen you. But go right ahead.
It has been much too long, my brother. Love and peace.
Love and peace.
Peace.
I am so glad that I almost missed calling in, and I'm glad that I didn't. The topic is phenomenal tonight, and I wanted to bring to our people attention that there is a long-term strategic plan, that has been developed and designed over a whole year, and it's some of the great minds and thinkers and warriors right here in Chicago that put this together. There are people from other parts of the country as well. I'd like to read it's a real short statement.
Go ahead.
On the front of the report. On the front of the plan, it says, if halls of fame were restricted to presenting inductees from the past 30 years or so, and if they were the only places visited by aliens, then those aliens would leave Earth with the impression that Black Americans were the greatest, most creative, and most prolific people living in the U.S. Unfortunately, Black America tends to forget this fact, and of course, white America has no interest in reminding us of our greatness. So I wanted to add to the conversation, speaking of our greatness and all of those things. As we look at the long-term strategic plan, I want to point out that this is a 100-year plan.
What's the name of it?
Long-term strategic plan. And you can pull it up. Anyone that wants to look at it can pull it up on the National Black Agenda Consortium. National Black Agenda Consortium's website. And it's a 100-year plan of how we can do exactly what we're talking about, self-determine for ourselves and do for self. A key element, of course, is God. God first, God always first and last. I would also add to the conversation unity. And I understand, and Brother Naba'a, I'll need you to help me with this, for one of my brothers or sisters that's listening, but it's my understanding that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad once said that our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb, or it might have been our unity is more powerful than a nuclear bomb. But either way, I want to point us to our unity and that as a solid laying foundation that covers us on the ground and it covers us like an umbrella. When we unite, as one of the brothers in the community say, game up. When we unite, it's a wrap. So I just wanted to make sure that we know that we not only have a plan, it's a viable plan, it's broken in increments of 5 and 10 years of what we should be doing, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, all the way down to 100 years. And this is a solid, well-developed plan. And I just wanted to be sure that our brothers and sisters are aware. And I challenge all of us to get this plan and read it, and let's implement it. In Chicago, we are developing strategies to deal with illegal economic, illegal economic migrant situation, and it is going to call for us to utilize not all these other plans that other people have put together and to our demise, but what I'm excited about is that we have our own plan, and our plan is God ordained, and divine intervention will see us through. So, brothers and sisters, I just wanted to call in and show some love and support and let you know how much I appreciate all that you're doing. And yes, Brother Naba'a, I'm going to take you up on that. Maybe we could go and what's that restaurant over there? Eat to Live?
Eat to Live. Oh, that's where last time I saw you with your mother, huh?
That's the last time
That's
you
the
saw
last
me.
time. What was her birthday?
That was her birthday, and that was their grand opening.
That was their grand opening. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to do that. But Sister Victoria, Cliff, don't go nowhere, man. Don't go nowhere. We're going to get to you. For the Black Agenda and the National Black Agenda Consortium, right?
Yes.
Is this group still working, or is now that the plan complete, are they just kind of distributing the report? How can people get involved is really my question.
Okay, that's a great question. As right now, my understanding is that the plan is under distribution to make sure that our people know that the plan exists.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is that in Chicago, we are looking to implement one of the things that the plan called for it calls for a national planning council that is like a national umbrella. But within that, there are responsible parties on a local level. So we're looking at developing a local commission or local council that will address the things that we're talking about. And what I'm more interested in is our human rights, because it'll cover, when we talk about the challenges that we have as a people, we name the same things over and over,
Right.
Health, violence, we go down the whole line. Well, looking at our human rights covers all of that. So what someone that want to get involved, I will take the responsibility of giving my email address if anyone wants to contact me directly.
Go right ahead.
And it is Pastor Victoria Brady at gmail.com. Again, Pastor Victoria Brady at gmail.com. You can email me and I can get you to the right people, or you can come on with us, what we're going to be doing right here in Chicago. There are many people working on the ground, and so we are still working in unity, but we're just working in our lane. So, that's it.
Sister Victoria, look, let's set up a time for you to come on if you want somebody to come on with you. And let's talk more about this plan. Let's talk more about how people can get involved. If they go to the website, can they download a copy of the plan?
They absolutely can, yes, sir.
And what's the website again?
National Black Agenda Consortium. National Black Agenda Consortium, or they can do NBAC. N Nancy BAC.
Very good. So look, brothers and sisters, if you look on the live stream right now for the broadcast from WVON AM 1690, the live stream is going right now. We got a link up to the National Black Agenda Consortium.org. And but sister, we definitely want to bring you back on and have you talk about this, you know.
Yes, sir. And we have our human rights defenders and others that are working with us. And this is really an exciting time. It's not. We don't think that this is the gain all or win all, but it's a strong tool that we have right here, right now in our hands, and it's up to us to honor the work of our brothers and sisters that worked for over a year to put this plan together. It's up to us to take it and utilize it. It's here for us. So I will be happy to come back.
Yeah.
And yes, I will invite, I'll let those that work directly on the plan. I was a reviewer on a portion of the plan, but certainly there were brothers and sisters that really put in the work to give us something of substance that we can lean into and that we can use to, as they say, pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. And that's a whole nother topic, that bootstrap thing. We'll talk about that at another time. But the point is that we can and we will self-determine. I love you, Brother Richard.
Yes, ma'am.
Brother Naba'a.
Love you too, Sister Lieutenant.
Sister Lieutenant.
Sister Lieutenant. All right, let's rock. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, my brother.
All right. Now, what would the night be if we didn't hear from our brother Cliff? Cliff, you still there? We're going to try to get you in again. Cliff, you with us?
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, brothers.
Wa alaikum salam. Wa alaikum salam.
I'm going to be long, but I just want to
Take
add
your time.
a very, very, very pertinent conversation and issue that you bring up in terms of separation. And let me say this, the reason why. Because right now, in the state of Israel, right, the American people, the American government keeps mentioning this two-state system.
Go ahead,
I'm
now.
sure you heard that, right?
Two-state solution.
You know what I'm saying? They keep bringing that up. You know, exactly. And so my point is that if you can bring that up with Israel, then why can't you acknowledge that and bring that right here in North America?
Wow.
So that's
okay.
exactly your point.
All right.
And what I'm saying now, what we have to do is figure out, and maybe brothers can help me out with this, in terms of what land we own, whether we own the Northeast, the Northwest, the Southeast, the Southwest, you know, but it's pliable because these people are demanding that in Israel. So if it's good for the Israeli people in Israel, then damn sure it's good for us. So this separation is not too far-fetched. And let me say this, too. Do you know who P. Ray is?
She has a show on VON.
Yeah, man, she got a powerful show, and she speaks truth in terms of white Democrats.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing I disagree with is her love for Donnie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, but she makes some good points.
Yeah.
And she also has the black interest, particularly reparations. And so the point I'm making is that I need black folks to speak on reparations in the Republican Party and the Trump Party, as well as to demand it in the Democratic Party. We need to be on board. And if anybody's against that, white Democrats, white Republicans, then the hell with them. That's what we need to be in unity in. We need to be in unity in terms of reparations from all aspects. And so with that being said, there's no question that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our leader. He has all the wisdom. He has a blueprint for our survival. And what he speaks is not too far-fetched. We as black people need to recognize the truth and see what he's saying in order to elevate us as a people in this land of America. I believe he's right on point, and I can't wait for Savior's Day. So, assalamu alaikum.
Hey, Cliff, you gotta hit us. Let us know when you touch down in Mecca, alias Detroit, over the February 25th weekend, because that Sunday, February 25th, Savior's Day 2024, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan will be speaking.
Yes, sir.
And his subject will be, what does Allah, the great Mahdi, and the great Messiah have to say about the war in the Middle East? You don't want to miss that. I want to say this, Brother Cliff.
Right, thank you, brother.
I want to say this too. Look, y'all, some of us may be trying to figure out how separation works, right? We are already separated.
Already.
But we are in an inferior position called segregation. the city that you live in, Chicago, is one of the most racially segregated cities in the country, if not the world, when it comes to housing patterns. Even when you look at schooling, right? In the select enrollment schools, the quote-unquote best schools, disproportionate presence of Caucasian students, because that's where these families are putting their children, because they say we paying our tax dollars, we're not paying for no private education. But we are already separate, brothers and sisters. We're separate even when they look at the television programs that we watch. We're separate even in what we experience in our lives. We're lagging behind 30%. We make 30% less still than white folks make right now. There's a wealth gap right now. So if we are in this situation, then we have the illusion of inclusion, right? But we're not included. So we want more in 24. Black folk want more in 24, and we're going to get it by coming together and fighting. And I hope that made sense. I hope that didn't just sound like a ramble. But just think about where you live. I live on the south side.
Right.
I kind of see some Caucasians encroaching in, though, man. They sliding up in there, walking their dogs, man. And
they'll be there. They'll be there.
God, man.
You'll be gone, bro.
No, I'm not leaving.
The Honorable Minister Parker said that black people are like dust.
Yep.
White folks decide they want to move them, they just blow, and then we end up in the suburbs, and they come moving into there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, brother Kenneth Watkins on the live stream. My brother, I'm gonna say this to you. You can toss Biden away as a white man and pick up any Republican white man that you want. That's your right. And if you keep looking for a white messiah, you will never have one. Let me say that. Stimulus checks that Trump gave us, that wasn't no reparations. That was barely us getting back some of our tax dollars that we never benefit from. Let me make that clear. And what does I assume you're talking about the minister, got to say about the war in Chicago? What hasn't he said about the war in Chicago, man? Huh? Maybe instead of asking what Farrakhan said, we need to ask what have we done with what he said. This man ain't to be played with. He's not an entertainer to rile you up. He's to inspire you to action. So if you're uninspired and not acting, then maybe you're dead, and maybe you need to come to Mos Mariam to get a spiritual reawakening.
Research on it.
Maybe you need to get a spiritual reawakening.
Yes, sir.
Now the illegals are going to get their money. Hey, you voted for J.B. Pritzker. Maybe you didn't, but black folks did. Black folks voted for Joe Biden. Farrakhan ain't tell you to do neither one. He has said continually, and I read it from the beginning, we have to have an enlightened self-interest. But go on and run to Trump. Run to any white man you want. Pick a Caucasian messiah. Keep picking.
Right.
Blackness creates challenges when it comes to reparations. It really doesn't, brother Michael Coleman. I get your argument, but it really doesn't. Let me say this, brothers and sisters. White folks know exactly what they did when it came to us. They know. It ain't no mystery to them. So don't expect them to try to figure out a way to repay us for what they've done. That's not on them. So they don't set the parameters. We are the aggrieved party. So you don't violate me and then you decide how you are going to make redress. You don't do that. I do that as the aggrieved party. You owe me and I decide how much you owe and when you should pay. Or maybe I'll say, if I got God on my side, and I don't mean some spook mystery God. I mean the God that has sustained the nation of Islam for almost 90 years.
Still here.
Still here, still working, still strong. And this God said to us, that this country would fall, and you're watching the fall of America right before your eyes. Rain, hail, snow. Came out the house today, Brother James, I could barely breathe. The air was so cold. Now, looking at it, brothers and sisters, I want you to look. White folks are saying, now check this out. White folks are saying this country may not be able to withstand the 2024 election. They are saying that.
Exactly.
And they are very afraid. So you just saw January 6th and that thing at the Capitol. And many of those people, brothers and sisters, they are not backing down.
And they packed.
And they packing.
If Trump wins, it's over. If Trump loses, it's over.
Yeah.
And that's not to say if Biden wins, it's not over. But if Trump wins or loses, it's over. It's quicker.
Hey,
the end will come quicker.
Kenneth Watkins, let me say this to you. Black folk won't mow in 24. We're not looking for over here. Where we at? We ain't looking for no white messiah. So if you want Trump, and if you think he's going to do something for you, have at it. But what has he said he going to do for black folk? Nothing. Not a thing.
He did say, what have you got to lose? And that means, vote for me because you ain't getting nothing now and you ain't going to get nothing to get me.
But editor, say that again, please.
What he's saying.
Say that again. Say that again.
What else do you have to lose? That's meaning, look, you vote for him, you ain't going to get nothing. So come on over here, because you know you ain't getting nothing over here. I've already told you that.
Right. This is the man that got a history, him and his daddy, of not letting black folks rent properties. At the Central Park 5, the jogger case.
Oh, my God.
Or now the exonerated, where you had 5 young black males, totally innocent, of raping someone. Trump called for them to get the death penalty. So let me tell you something. You pick whatever white man you got. Pick them. Biden, Trump, Manchin, Roly-Poly from Alabama. Pick whoever you want and see what you get. You better vote for yourself today. You better decide that you love yourself. And you believe in yourself, and you believe in God enough to let the white man go. Let me say that again.
That's right.
That you believe in God enough to let the white man go. He's not the ultimate power in the world. His country's falling apart at its seams right now, right before your eyes. Just like ancient Babylon, just like ancient Rome, just like all of those countries.
Like the British Empire.
Just like all of them. All of them, they're falling apart. But keep on believing. Don't stop believing in the slave master's children, if you want to.
That's right.
But our unity, in a way, what do I mean by unity? I mean that ain't nobody gonna separate me from my brothers. And if I gotta sacrifice, I'm gonna sacrifice. But we're going to build something together based on principle. Not based on the fact that I'm trying to get $1 or trying to get some advantage.
Kenneth may be a troll, brother.
No, he's good, man. It's okay. No, it's okay because it's a spirited dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel my brother's pain. He is tired of seeing us run to the Democratic plantation and get nothing. I understand that.
Oh, that's what we talk. We're inviting him to come on over here.
It's what I'm trying to get him over here, brother. I'm trying to get him now.
Right.
And he's talking about, he said, look at our city and the 2 African-American mayors, and he feels that they didn't do enough for us. I can't argue with him about that.
No, you can't. That's true.
And he's saying the buses are still coming as we talk. Yeah, Kenneth, but look, Kenneth, we didn't tell you vote for JB. I mean, if it would have been JB with James Brown, maybe we'd have voted, but we didn't tell you. We have been consistent in our call for black love, black unity, black sacrifice, and black self-determination.
Right.
So it's on us, brothers and sisters. So I'm going to say this again. Have enough faith in God to let the white man go. Or do you really believe that God is white and Jesus is white and you curse?
We pretending. We pretending to believe in God.
Well, we've been mistaught about God. And so we need to become acquainted with ourselves. So we need to become acquainted with the reality of God, man. That's what
If we were all somewhere on an island by ourselves, we would have to depend on ourselves.
Woo, go ahead.
But we're here with another population that has historically been our enemy, and we have been trained and brainwashed to believe that we have to depend on him for everything that we need, and he has built a system that we will go to the back of the door to get in, even if the front door is open. So our mental state is one of dependency on an enemy and a lack of knowledge in ourselves and the God of ourselves. So that's why we call the master a center for retraining and re-education. If the Honorable Minister Farrakhan's quote is, how do you think if a man won't treat you right, how do you think he's going, what makes you think he will teach you right? If he won't treat you right, what makes you think he's going to teach you right? And for centuries, we've been taught the wrong thing.
Absolutely.
We've been, all of the books have eliminated us as a positive figure, even though they stole every aspect of science development. We invented most of the things that came out of our slavery that made our jobs easier. That's what happens when you're oppressed and you come up under struggle. You get very creative.
Yes.
So we created all of the things that made that they now capitalize on and use. So it's self-denial. You just gotta learn more about yourself.
And Kenneth, I agree. You're saying that Chicago has been Democratic for 60 years and Chicago's a hellhole. Again, we ain't been advocating for you to vote Democrat for 60 years, Brother Kenneth. That's somebody else. That ain't over here. So you're saying, I'm not saying Trump is going to help. I'm saying we've been voting Democrat and yet we're still begging for reparations. Again, we have never advised you to vote Democrat. The minister said continually, enlighten self-interest. Enlighten self-interest. So the question becomes not just what you're going to do on election day. What are you doing the day after election day? So the next time a politician comes to you and asks you about voting, ask him, what are we doing the day after election day? Because the lobbyists, the people with the money, all of them folks, they working around the clock. And they come in hat in hand and program in pocket. They already sent it before election day with their checks. And then they come in after election day to start to collect. So I get you, Brother Kenneth. I'm not in opposition to you, my brother. I just didn't like some of the language earlier because I thought it insinuated something about my minister that was incorrect, and I can't let that stand. So black folk won't mow in 2024. Black folk won't mow in 2024, and we're going to get it by depending on allowing ourselves. The day of us thinking that white folks are going to save us, brothers and sisters, are over. Let's try unity. It's the one thing we never really tried totally.
Right.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right, Kenneth. This is something we didn't get the George Floyd police reform bill, and not only that, Kenneth, we didn't get the Voting Rights Act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, while our votes and our voting power is being destroyed at the local level. See, again, Kenneth, you ain't talking. Hey, we ain't on no plantations over here, baby. We free, justified, and equal, trying to get our own land for our own selves. And Michael,
That's
you're right, Michael Coleman. Racism exists in both parties. They two wings of the same bird, and it's a vulture, and they want to dine deliciously on our carcass.
Exactly.
But it's time for us to let them know that that day is over. The day of picking our bones and the day of using us is over. If we want it to be, brothers and sisters, or do you really believe that we're so inferior that if we let white folks go, we ain't gonna make it? You can't believe that. You can't believe that.
So.
You can't believe that. Do you really still believe that in 2024?
Yes.
I get you. Thank you, Kenneth. He said he loved the minister. He just was asking why I haven't seen with my eyes or heard with my ears him speaking or addressing the situation. I understand. Brother Kenneth, you know the minister is a divine man, so he speaks when the God tells him to speak. But Brother Kenneth, this is what I want you to do for me, please. Go to the Nubian Leadership Circle website and sign up, please. Please, I'm begging you. Sign up. And the web address and everything is right on the comments. I want you to go there. I want you to sign up for the Nubian Leadership Circle event, because this is like, they are about black people, man.
Right.
And if we're blessed, the minister may speak there, or you will probably hear, in the past he spoke there.
Yeah.
And the minister spoke in millions of words, Brother Kenneth, and I know we love to hear him, but I would just say this. Brother Ismail Muhammad speaks every Sunday at Mosque Mariam. You can get him at NOI.org, or you can come by the mosque and you can hear him. But keep watching, brother. And again, I apologize earlier. I really didn't mean to insult you, and I hope that you will accept my apology. Brother BJ, you want to take us home in the last 2 minutes?
That's right, brother. Listen, it led to a great discussion because, you were revealing some things that the brothers and sisters needed to hear. So we thank y'all for calling in. We're not opposed to, dialogue. That's why we opened the phone lines. Great job today, too, Brother James G, coming up with this great topic.
Absolutely, great topic.
Thank you for that, brother, that contribution. And get ready, brothers and sisters. February 25th is Savior's Day. If you've been waiting to hear what the minister got to say, well, he got something for you. And the topic is, what does Allah, the great Mahdi, and the great Messiah have to say about the war in the Middle East? Everything that you want to or been thinking about, he's going to say it on Sunday, February 25th in Detroit. So we'll give you more details as we lead up to Savior's Day 2024. We love y'all, brothers and sisters. Thank y'all so much for supporting us. Once again, it is $ Straight Words on Cash App, $ Straight Words on Cash App to make a donation to support our show. 312-480-9775 on Zelle, and also on PayPal. It is Straight Words, the number 4 at gmail.com. We want to thank our great producer back in Charlotte, Sister Jeanette. Thank you for all you do. And, of course, on the ones and twos, right there in the studio, WVON.
Deontay, D, baby, D.
Demonte X, brother. Demonte X.
All right, now. All right.
He always comes through. Next week, we'll be here at 9 p.m. right here on WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago. Assalamu alaikum.
By Allah's grace, we'll be back. Assalamu alaikum.
Sure.
The Talk